Hello YouTubers, GW Guns here. We are going to disassemble a Ithaca 900, and the only reason we're doing this is another customer brought me this gun. I get a lot of these that come in that were passed down from person to person or father to son or whatever. They're relatively well built. The front end here is off the Browning A series. The back end here is pretty much a Remington. Forgive me for the video because I'm looking at the camera upside down and backwards because I don't have a cameraman. So I'm going to do my best to keep everything in frame here, but if it falls out, please don't be upset. So to break this thing down, it's a recoil, not a gas operated. So we have a big spring up here that's going to hold all this together. So we're going to take our wing nut off at the front. They'll tell you compress everything. That's not really needed if you just grab it really firmly with your hand. If you got a good grip, you can hold it. Okay, so our cap nut is off. We're going to take our forearm off. Recoil spring. We've got our gas tube parts here, which everybody's like, ooh, don't get them backwards. Doesn't really matter. Pull that out. This is our compression sleeve. Doesn't matter which way it goes. This is the gas or recoil operated sleeve. One side is tapered, one side is flat. Light loads is flat. Heavy loads is tapered. Don't pay attention to light loads, heavy loads. Put it on this way. If it doesn't work, turn it around, put it on that way. Whatever works for whatever you're shooting is what you need to do. We have our recoil spring. We'll pull that off. We have our main frame. That is the disassembly that Ithaca gives you in all their handbooks. At this point, the gun is field stripped and ready to clean. The problem that we get with these is we have a bolt. Nobody cleans this. This is the biggest problem with these guns. They'll last a long time. They run really well, but nobody cleans the bolt. Nobody cleans the action. Nobody cleans the trigger because nobody knows how to take it apart. Okay? I've already done the prep work. I've taken the stock off the back, or butt stock off the back. I've taken the lug nut off the back, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the stock. Here we go with another Ithaca problem. Don't know if this will come up on camera. You can see the cracks right here in the upper wood, cracked all the way down through and cracked all the way back and blown all the way out the side. This is very common to these guns because it's a cheap, I don't want to say plastic, it's not plastic, but it's a cheap wood with a nice covered veneer. So take that for what it's worth. They're all like that. It's very common to see. So the problem everybody has right now is, how do I get this handle out of the gun? One thing you don't want to do is push this button right here and let it slap forward. All that's going to do is cut the front edge of this. So we're going to hold our handle, push our button, release our magazine, and let it go forward. Okay? Three things, since this customer brought me this gun, because basically he has some feeding issues, he has some discharge issues, and he's got some light hits. So it needs looked at. But for what we're going for now is how to get it apart. Because at this point, everybody's lost. There are two styles of this gun. One of them has a different rail and had a little switch knob here that would let you select a light load or a heavy load. If that's the case, you meant to get this straight, there's going to be a blocker bar here and a spring on this rod. You need to release the spring, release the blocker bar, let your magazine or follower carrier come forward, and that will let you release the bolt handle. If that doesn't make any sense to you, go to our website, gwguns.com. the disassembly of a very similar weapon will give you how to get that out. If that's not the case, and you have a bolt like this, where this is your carrier handle, and it is semi-independent of the bolt. It's full length. It goes all the way from here, all the way back to here. It will not come out. The handle won't come out, no matter how hard you pull, pry, prod, or whatever. Once you have the buttstock off, we are going to take this and unscrew it. Actually, I'm going to take the trigger out first so you can see what I'm doing. We have two trigger pins, one here and one there. For the sake of argument, we're going to call this a Remington trigger group action. It's very similar. You have this little hook here. If anybody has a Franchi Italian shotgun, this runs the exact same way. This is the disconnect that lifts the lever that holds everything. The easiest way to try and explain this shotgun is it is like a Browning A4 entirely backwards. You try and picture everything from what you know, that when the bolt comes back, everything works. This, the Franchi, the Browning A4 is opposite. The bolt comes back with the barrel. Once it seats and locks everything in place, it all works going forward. So you kind of think 100% backwards. Instead of everything happening going this direction, it's happening going that direction. That's the biggest problem people have with these guns. But this is a very, very critical part, and as you can see from this, it's a very dirty, very rusty. Show you the top here, give you a close-up if I can. You can see all the dirt, grit, rust, grime, crunch, because nobody has ever taken the trigger group out of this. But beyond that, the worst thing of this gun is nobody has taken the bolt out of it. So we are going to look at the bottom and see this is what you're trying to get apart. You're trying to get this handle out of the bolt. It's held in place by this rod right there. Okay? So we're going to go back and unscrew our primary recoil spring. Once it's out, look at our nice rusty spring. Take our nice rusty follower out, and we now have a loose bolt with our pressure follower here. What we're going to do, if I can do it on camera, is lift this out. Grab a pick real quick. We're going to lift this up. As soon as we lift that up, it's going to let our handle disconnect. Okay? Do we got that? So we lift that up, you'll see our handle, see our bolt, see our handle. Our handle comes back from our bolt. I'm going to try and turn this and hopefully not lose it on camera. There it goes. Drop our bolt out of the back of the receiver. Push our bolt forward, pull it out of the front. And there we go. This is a really, really clean one compared to most. They're gunked up more than that. But our problem is our primary extractor over here and our secondary extractor over here are the problems. There is absolutely no spring tension on this side. So it doesn't matter how hard that pushes, it's not going to push this one out of the way. That's gunk and dirt in the bolt. Again, you have to think backwards. The bolt is coming this direction, okay? This is not going to hit anything and make the ejector push the shell out the other side. This is our barrel. This is our ejector shelf, this little piece right here. So when our bolt and our barrel come back with the shell, the bolt is going to stop and this barrel is going to go forward. When it does, it needs to hold the shell to the side so that this little edge can grab and make it go this way and pop it on out. That's why this shotgun doesn't extract. Plus everything is gunky and dirty. But the main purpose of this video was how to get the bolt out of your gun. Because these things run, I've so many of them. They've run 10, 20, 30 years. And nobody's had a problem with them. And nobody has ever removed and cleaned this part of the gun. Because it's not covered in the Ithaca manual, and it's just this big mystery on how to get it apart. So it's that simple. Get the screw, get your main spring pressure off of this so that you can lift it down, and as soon as you do, your bolt and your charge handle will separate. Okay? If you want an assembly video, because the only ones out there is, as far as I found, is a young kid that's like, don't take it apart, don't take it apart. If you want to take your bolt apart, you can, that's fine. It's very simple. Pay attention to how things go. They can go one way, they can go the other way. They only work one of the two ways. So as you take it apart, everybody has an iPhone, take a picture of it. Take a picture of this, take a picture of that. Take a picture of this. When you drive out a pin and something comes off, take a picture of the parts that are coming out. Put them back the way they came out, and you'll be fine. If you can't do that, take it all apart, clean it all up, mail it to me. I'll put it back together for you for a minimal charge, and you'll have your Ithaca working again. They are very nice. I like them a lot. I like the Browning style. The Franchi is the same. They're much lighter than this, but this is a good heavy duty, and they give you years and years of service. So one thing to look for if you go to a gun show and you go to buy one, be aware the bolt has never been taken out of it because nobody knows how. So the first thing you want to do is look at the back side of the bolt here. If they'll let you, try the trigger pins out, because if you can see on this one how crusty the trigger plate is. It's much like a Remington, and very same style. It does the exact same thing as a Franchi. It holds the bolt back, and you know, this is the biggest part that breaks on all of them. Okay, so if they'll let you knock the trigger plate out, you want to look and make sure all this is good. It's all spring tensioned, it's all tight, there's no looseness, it's not horrifically rusty. This one is not. I've seen much worse than this. Okay? So thank you very much for your time. gwguns.com if you need any gunsmithing done, and thank you so much